Hello, welcome to Trailers from Hell. Like many movie fans, I live and breathe for those moments in cinema where your jaw drops and you can't believe they did that, but you're so glad they did. Moments like this, where multiple species erupt from a truck to aid rebels against British imperial rule, at the same time symbolizing endangered species taking revenge on the despoilers of the planet. Yes, there's environmental and political subtext in this Telugu language epic from India's acclaimed and highest paid director, S.S. Rajamouli. After a string of mythological spectaculars like Bahubali the beginning and its sequel Bahubali the conclusion, each topping the box office, his latest is RRR, Rise, Roar, Revolt. RRR. The heroes of the film are real-life revolutionaries of the 1920s and 30s, Alluri Sitaram Raju on the left and Kumaram Bhim on the right, who died fighting the British Raj and its client kings. They led separate revolts to prevent deforestation and forced eviction from tribal lands. But they never actually met. RRR concocts a wild what-if action musical fantasy in which both heroes do meet and bond without initially knowing each other's true identity and allegiance.
స్కాట్ ద్వారా వారు మా ఆదిలాబాద్ వచ్చినప్పుడు ఓ చిన్నపిల్లని తీసుకొచ్చారు.
The movie starts with the stealing of an Indian child by the local British governor and ends with the child being returned to the care of her own people, metaphorically representing India's eventual independence. In between are 3 hours of the most extraordinary action scenes to come out of Indian cinema, the equal of Hollywood superhero movies in technological expertise, but with heart and political bite. Shooting took nearly 3 years due to COVID pandemic delays, with some scenes staged in Ukraine and Bulgaria. Director S.S. Rajamouli shot his epic spectacular with a true grasp of screen dynamics. The heroes, played with great charm by 2 of South India's top stars, bond over their rescue of a child. The subsequent 10-minute friendship montage, where both men ignore the women in their lives, have caused some critics to suggest a coded gay bromance. But that's a mischaracterization. A strong bond between men that is homophilic, not homosexual, is admired in Hindu culture. These scenes help us love these guys. We fear for their friendship, as the fog of war appears to pit them against each other. Certainly the history of British colonial rule left some residual bitterness in India's culture, which is reflected in its cinema. Colonialism was the bastard child of capitalism and racism. The European powers viewed their colonial subjects as children of a lesser god, and their lands as an endless supply of raw materials and cheap labor. The economic needs of Europe's growing middle class justified land seizure, forced labor, and the brutal repression of dissent, issues woven into RRR's action fantasy framework. Personally, I'm amused rather than offended by the grotesque depiction of the British characters, evil, sadistic villains, directed as if competing for the Snidely Whiplash Award. But as everything else is so gloriously over the top, it just adds to the fun. The climax, where the heroes become endowed with the martial expertise of 2 Hindu deities, delivers more of those jaw-dropping moments. You could say it's a Hindu nationalist movie with a postmodern sense of humor. I don't care, I'm just mesmerized by its cinematic virtuosity. Every shot's a gem. At $72 million, RRR is India's most expensive movie and its biggest worldwide success. I'm surprised that S.S. Rajamouli was not among the Oscar or DGA nominees for Best Director. With this film, he has lifted Indian cinema to a new level of international recognition.
Brace yourself.